Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. As you can see, this is this actually is the I guess the logo, whatever they call it, for the first show there, and we'll get into it. And but first, we'll bring in my my friends. We've got Tony. Welcome to the show, Tony.
Hello. We went from co-host to friends.
Yes.
Um,
Well, that's just a given. Co-host and another friend of mine or co-host is Tony. Mr. Tom, how are you doing?
Hello. Hello,
Oh,
everyone. How you doing out there in podcast land?
there you go. Yes. So as you can see, this is my first. What do they call these things?
It's a
show.
slideshow, isn't it?
Thumbnail or
It's a
whatever.
thumbnail, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. This is my first thumbnail from the first show of the trip, way back. As I saw it was back about 2 years ago, just over two
Something like
years ago
desert.
in February, and we'll run through the video that we had for that day. But we'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, that's how that went. So yeah, so that was kind of cool. Um, so yeah, I'd like to say thanks for being on this ride with me, you guys, everybody in the chat, Mr. Tom, Tony, and BX Gunner. I don't know. I can't remember if BX Gunner was there way back when we first started.
He
But welcome
was.
to the show tonight, BX Gunner. Stefan's in the
I'm
house. Stefan,
I'm
welcome.
I'm I'm starting to feel like I should have wore a black tie and a tuxedo to this.
Oh,
And
dude, I should have done a little bit more prep, but
then you
this
could
is
have
this is a
slapped
lot
one
of
of
fun.
those.
But whenever I want to put a little extra into, I realize I have other things that are just as important as they're probably a little bit more important than the show. So I had family visiting, so this is what we're gonna do tonight. But yes, do you remember your first? I guess Tony, I guess you remember your first show on the trip. You remember it?
Uh, Not too much. I
Yeah.
remember.
Well,
I remember episode 6.
episode 6. Oh, I'll have to look and see what's up with that one.
That's when we had Spanish Sean Connery from
Oh,
the
yeah. You
Highlander.
know what? Now that thanks for saying it, because I've been trying to see if I can find it, just so I can at least have the audio, the video for it, because I just, you know, at some point I probably want to create a little collage of it. Mr. Tom, I don't know if you remember. I didn't plan any of this, so I don't know if you remember your first time actually
Uh,
on the show.
no, I
Oh,
actually do because this sounds really silly, but for some reason I know the message you sent me to ask me to be on the show,
okay.
which because obviously the first episode was evidently such a disaster. You went, how do I spice this shit up? So then, do excuse me, because it was during the international break in February or March, or it was something like this.
Hmm.
Um, I haven't got it to hand, but oh, hang on, I do. I literally do. It's actually the first message Gary ever sent me
Uh-oh. Oh, damn.
on Twitter, where he basically went, "Hello, Tom. Would you like to come on my show tomorrow?" Question mark.
There you go.
Hello.
That's how it works. That's how it works in YouTube land. You just ask.
I may have actually kept it just in case. A court of law required me to prove that Gary actually asked me to be on the show.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The big
it's like,
question: do I cook some sausages? I don't know what that means. I mean, you should always cook sausages, but I don't know if there's something else I'm missing. But
With Stefan, there's probably something
Gary
you're
swore. I
missing.
did not swear. I don't use that language. You know that. But you know what? Let's do this. We maybe will put the video up a little bit later as well, as we get a little bit more before the end of the show, just so people can remember it. But I'll put on that first video, that first intro that I had, and you can see, I think we've come a bit of a way, all right? So let's see here. Let me find this video. Oh, here we go. Boom. Yeah. Hopefully you guys should be able to hear this as well once I play it. But this was this is how we set up. As you can see, I had the green screen going, and of course Tony is looking wherever he's looking. And Matt, of course,
Fucking hell.
he joined us in the first, and Lolo joined us on that maiden voyage. But let's listen to. I guess you guys can listen to how that went.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, so our maiden voyage. This is the trip. This is DWTT channel. This is like I said, episode number 1 of the trip. We will. I've got a rookie mistake here. I've got the audio playing in my ears, so I can hear it twice. But that's so here we go. So welcome to the show. Yeah, this is my first episode of the trip. I've got my co-host here. How you doing?
Good evening, y'all. How y'all doing, man?
Doing good. Got Tony along for the ride. He stopped in one day and just hasn't left. How you doing?
Yep, I've got stuck on this journey with you.
He's a squatter.
Yes. And then we got Lolo on the stoop. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm on early today. I'm used to my 10 o'clock show, but 7:30. All right, I ate dinner. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Cool. All right. So that's how it all started. Let me see if I can switch this out. There you go. Cool. Oh, look. We got eat get sausages, man. You're making sausages. Sausages sounds good. Why not has joined us?
I do believe you had a response to one of your tweets, Gary, because I can see it because of the tags. A certain gentleman is.
Oh, sorry. You know
I
what?
believe he's requesting entrance.
Oh yes. You know what? I was not near my what you call it, or I will send him a thing. All right. So there we go. So we'll see.
Face when he sees who.
We'll see who this is that joins us. And Spencer said he just sat down for dinner, so he'll be here, I guess, after he's gorged himself. DWTT out. Why not Spursy? Ha ha! You're funny. That's rude. Very, very rude.
Mr. Tom in.
DWTT out. That is so not nice. we. Oh look! See, I knew it. I knew it. Tony in. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense why you said DWTT out. I get it now. I get it now. Tony's friend.
Everyone's Tony's friend.
There you go. All right. Everybody, thanks for. Yes, sir. What you gonna say?
I was trying to get balloons to come up, but
Oh,
there we go.
there we go.
It's party time in
It's
Tony
party time.
Town.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so we're getting into it. So we are. Whew, I guess we are officially into the INTERLULL international break. We are actually in the beginning stages of it. It just happened, I guess, today. Right? Today's Monday. Yesterday was some football, and today, no football for a couple of weeks, or should I say, at least for 2 weekends?
Any football that we care about, Gary.
Actually, I guess 13 days from now will be football. So 1 weekend without football, but we'll be back. Yeah. Why not? Yeah, we love you too, my man. Yes, good to see you on there. We know where you stand, but it's all good.
I think this is the 6th one already, the 6th INTERLULL of the season, which is
That is
ridiculous.
crazy, right? Yeah. I mean, we've had an INTERLULL so long that Tomiyasu went away for for the Asia Cup. Hasn't even played a minute for Arsenal, and already there's an international break where he could be potentially going back. But I think they got a little smart and said, you know what, you're staying. And same thing for, I think, Gabriel. He's going to stay as well. And yeah, I saw a tweet. Somebody saying that it was funny because Darwin Núñez says he wasn't going to show up because of some hammies. His hammies weren't feeling good, and the guy said, "Good, he needs to get the rest." And then when Gabriel comment came out there and said Gabriel won't be there as well, he said, "I hope they're not lying so, so I don't know what's going on. People don't believe us when we say, guys, he hasn't played a minute for us. A lot of these players, and now people want him to play. But Gabriel probably needed a rest. That man, just like Saliba, has not stopped playing. Yes.
Except for mystery 3 games he didn't play at the start of the season.
Yeah.
This why not? He's a clever gentleman.
Yes.
He's a gentleman and a scholar. And he clearly knows his stuff, despite what people say. He clearly knows his stuff.
He just knows your name. I don't think he knows what that means. All that other stuff that comes with it, like your qualifications and whether you know football and all that stuff.
I'm more than qualified to replace Edu. I've got contacts. I've got contacts in the favelas.
You know how to cook a Brazilian barbecue? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I certainly can. And Salt Bay knows me by name. If my name is who are you and how did you get on my property? Then yeah.
Hey, well, there you go. He probably has a lot of those. He probably has a lot of those going on. You know.
But in honor of the 100th show of the trip, not the road trip, the trip. It's a different show, different time, different day. Anyway, I thought I'd pay tribute to Matt in the style that most befits him and suits my team's current standing. We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league. We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league. Leads.
You heard it here, folks. Mr. Tom singing. Yes. And if you haven't seen the standings yet, yes. Leeds sit atop the standings. Is it how many? Is it a point or is it just tied and you're on goal difference? I can't remember how it all pans out.
We are one goal better off than Leicester.
There you go. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Say what you will, we've not conceded a goal in open play in 2024 in the league. That's it. You're right, Stefan. It ain't over yet.
Yeah.
But we overturned a 17-point deficit, and I believe it was 10 from Ipswich. So
there you go.
I'm going to enjoy it.
And I was just about to have somebody join, but I guess we'll have them join when they're ready. They will show their face. If I
sat here and went, "Oh, it don't matter," or whatever, Gary and that would get upset with me.
I would.
You're not enjoying football. Dude, this is what you're not enjoying it. You're not enjoying it.
Yeah, you should enjoy that your team did exactly what you just said. And the only way that works is if they actually get to the top spot. And guess what? They are sitting at the top spot. What's the point? You can't enjoy football for that. Then what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I don't say don't waste a trip for nothing, man. Enjoy the ride, because this is what it's all about. Spencer, how are you doing, sir? You like muted yourself, and Spencer from the house.
Right to the top of the.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Happy 100th, Gary.
Thank you.
Tom, Tony. Hope everybody's doing well. Chat room.
Hello, Spencer.
Tom's Leeds top of the league. He's telling us that they haven't given up a goal in this calendar year. Congratulations.
Open play. Open play. Obviously, open play.
So there you go. Yeah. No.
I do know what the championship is like, Stefan, which is why I'm taking full advantage of it on this particular Monday night.
There you go. I don't. I is that like so? When Ipswich was sitting up there in the top two, Stefan never was happy about it.
Oh no, he crowed about it constantly.
Okay. Yeah, you should. You should. That's what it's all about. You know, but you don't know when it's going to get taken away. You don't know if it's going to keep going. So you got to enjoy it while it's here. Yeah.
Hey, in an ideal world, Ipswich should go up alongside us, and everyone would be happy.
I haven't heard this. Why not? I haven't heard that. I don't know. Has Arteta been talking in the media about injuries and fixture congestion? I haven't heard it myself because I haven't been listening to any.
Nope.
Yeah. So.
Well, he has this tendency during when we started the show. He said, "Oh, we have too many players." And then the next year was we don't have enough players.
True.
And now it's, our players are hurt and we're playing too much.
Yeah, you know what I always said, and this is why I was so disappointed in the way that he configured this squad last year. We had international football. He didn't utilize his starting team in that international football, And I think he should have, because guess what? It was in preparation for what he's doing exactly right now. He plays his starters in Champions League like he's supposed to, and then they sometimes have to come back and play later on. All right. So yeah.
Imagine if we were one of the teams that were playing in the FA Cup yesterday and Saturday.
You know what? This is what it's all. This is all. You have to have a squad, and it doesn't include the starting 11. I've heard a lot of talk about starting 11 and why our starting 11 will beat your starting 11, and it's all good and well, but this is our squad game. Nobody wins with only 11. I'm telling you, nobody's gonna win with only 11. City has never won with just 11. Liverpool didn't win with 11. Real Madrid doesn't live with 11. None of these teams. Bayern Munich, and we'll get into Bayern Munich as well. But thank you, Big Scunner. Yes, 100 just for this show, and I think I have to look and see how we're doing on the other ones. But got 100 here, and this has been just over 2 years, so there might have been a break in there where we didn't have a show. Yes, he never gives it large, but he does praise his team, which he's supposed to. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I think pretty much the only ones we took a break on was some of the INTERLULL. There might have been some of the summer when much.
Yeah, I think we took a break. You're right. We probably took some breaks in the summer, like just to give ourselves. But we're typically here every Monday, chatting it up. But there's always something, right? There's always something. Sam's joined us. Welcome to the show, Sam. The Fantastic Four, yes. So we're doing all the intros. It is the 100th show. Yes. 100 shows. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. So this is pretty cool. All right, so let's get into it. So the title of this show, Champions League quarterfinals. At least this is we're talking to some Arsenal. We're talking to some Leeds as well, because Leeds are sitting at the top of the table just like Arsenal, right? Sitting at the top of the table just like Arsenal.
It could be a double. It could be a double win come May. It could be.
Yeah, the trip
I'll
might
still
go.
take second. I'll still take second.
The trip,
not greedy.
yeah, the trip might go doing, as you said, a double. Very nice. Why not? Why can't the trip? Why can't it? Yeah. Why can't it? So yeah, what else we got? Thank you there, Sam said. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, and last but not least, joining us, Taib. He says, "Hi, Tom, you sausage." No, Stefan's making sausages. He doesn't know what I mean by, but you guys, yeah.
I know it's not PG.
Yeah.
Right, can I read it? How I think? Why not saying this?
All right, go ahead.
No, Gary, Arteta wasn't belly aching this time, but no one going on international duty will stop the need for excuses of injuries and possible fixture congestion.
I don't think so. Why not? It's still gonna happen. I mean, your best players are all out, right? Saka is out, right? Martinelli, I don't know. I assume he's not out. Havertz definitely is out because I heard him and.
Imagine Martinelli's out because he has a sore on his foot.
That's right. That needs to heal. So because Havertz and Mueller were kidding around about whatever because they're going to be playing soon. What else? Rice definitely is out.
To the trip.
Yes. Go to the next 100. So yeah, I don't know. Arteta needs to stop that. It's just how this thing works. You're gonna have to learn how to play. All right. So let's get into it, at least from the Arsenal side, and we'll continue on. So Arsenal made it to the quarterfinals. I don't think we got the chat about that, right? Did we?
No,
because you played on Tuesday.
Not on this show.
Not on this show. So we'll get into that. So Arsenal down a goal, an away goal, if it actually mattered. But guess what? It didn't. No, it wasn't an away goal. It was just a late goal. That's all. Just a late goal with no time on it at the death, right? So yeah. So Arsenal Misfits joining us. Welcome to the show. Thank you there, sir. What's happening, Taib? Yeah, says Stefan. So Arsenal makes it to goes through, but let's see. We'll get into the game a little bit. I was hoping Arsenal would show up and actually play their style of football.
Sorry.
I don't know what this.
I'm
You're
the
laughing at
officially
this, so go ahead.
designated.
So you can read this.
I'm the
Yeah.
officially designated why not reader out of comments. I'm now
Uh.
its official voice on the show.
All right. So you want to say this one? So go on.
Big up Gary and show contributors, co-host and panelists for producing 100 episodes.
Taib went. What did he say? I didn't highlight his. You know what, Taib? Yeah, there must be a filter because I don't think I can see it actually. Yeah, it must have caught your comment because I don't see it. I did not see it. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it might have blocked it. So
you definitely did get what you're hoping for, Gary. You didn't
I just
get
saw
to
the
see.
sausage comment from him. So
You didn't
all
get
right.
to see Arsenal play Arsenal way.
I want to hear some tactical analysis from Spencer.
So let's get into it. So our Arsenal, and Spencer will be back. But Tony, it was a home game. Arsenal, first time in a knockout in a very long time. I was hoping that Arsenal would get to play some of their football and not cater to what Porto was going to do because we know what they were going to do. We must have known what we were going to do. Yeah, and I was just hoping to get to play our football and maybe put a couple of goals in and see this thing out. But I think Porto, of course, played really good, really disciplined football, and made it tough on us. So, Tony, talk to me about what you saw.
Starting off, I think for the second game, Arsenal was still plus 230 on the odds. The start of the fixture, it was like plus 650 or something like that. So you have to put up a lot of money to win a little bit for Arsenal. But Porto definitely played their style the entire way. They were happy to get a tie in the first game, but they got the counterattack and got a goal. I think they kind of screwed up in the second game because I just remember one pass up over everybody and then just running into space. They did that a lot in the first game. They didn't do it, but just that one time. And they were happy to play for the draw, which is weird for a team that had lost 7 straight spot kicks. They're not penalty kicks, people, they're spot kicks. But to me, we did what we needed to at the end. Really wasn't enough. I thought we should have still went and tried for the win in extra time, but Arteta was very conservative on the substitutions. I mean, we go from scoring 5-6 goals a game in the league, then we come here and get 1 goal out of 2 games. We can't just let teams play their style. We got to play our way. I never understood that, setting up for what another team's gonna do. Just do what you do. If it doesn't work and then change it. But Arteta's seen plenty of times it wasn't working in these games. But like the first one, we had 5 substitutes, but he made 1 substitution, which boggles my mind. But overall, it's enough to get through. We expected to get through, so we'll see what we do versus the Germans.
True. And Sam, yeah, we're going over the game. You know, I don't actually believe I've talked, at least on my channel, about the game much. We
did just a hair bit on Ray's show because you missed most of that.
Yeah, I've had my daughter's been visiting, so I haven't actually done that many shows. I was on this Friday show with Lolo, but we talked as much as we could about it, but not much. So this is the first time I've actually been on a show where I actually had the whole show to talk about whatever. So is Mr. Tom telling me to cut it out? What is that?
So I was saying I did my best to kill that sort of talk on Friday night.
Oh, so there you go. See, and like you said, I didn't even do the show yesterday. My daughter had a performance, so I didn't even do that. So yes, yeah, we're gonna get into the game. We'll get into where we go, what happens next as well. But Spencer, Arsenal, we're talking a little bit about the Porto game, the home game. We'll say hello to Anders. Welcome to the show, Anders. But Spencer, as I was saying, I was hoping that we get to play. Oh, he just left me again. That was weird. Are you gonna talk, or you staying, or the dog barking?
No, you're fine. I was actually okay with where the game went. So it's hard to play a game against a team that sits there and is so negative and drops on the ground every 5 seconds, acting like they've been shot. So like you can plan all you want for it, but if the ref buys into it, I mean that's the style that Porto's going to play. And I'm actually
I thought the ref in the second game did an okay job.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the first game. I'm talking about the whole leg in general. There were still moments there where Porto was kind of milking, especially there in the second half when everybody kind of knew it was going to penalties. But I mean, that's the thing. So I'm kind of excited about drawing Bayern Munich. You're going to get a wide open game. You're both going to have a go at it. And then you can play Real Madrid and Man City, and you're both going to have a go at it again. So you're going to get to play the style of football that you like to play. So you're not worried about an Atletico Madrid that's going to sit there and milk the clock and act like they've been injured every 5 seconds. Is it going to be a tough task to make it out of this group? Absolutely. But this is what you wanted. And ideally, I thought Arteta did a pretty good job on that night. I thought it was really weird. The last 2 subs were kind of weird to me, especially Eddie, who hasn't played in so long, and then Zinchenko, which – I thought, to me, is a defensive liability. I don't know why we brought him on, but ideally, that's the problem with a game like that. It's such a chess match. If you take one piece off, it doesn't mean you're going to get a talent for talent substitution. You can go like to like bringing Reese on is not the same as having Saka on there. So, they made it through the group. We got the monkey off the back, the proverbial round of 16 monkey off the back, shall we say, and you go to fight another day, and the fixture congestion is going to keep picking up, but this is what you want. These are these big moments, and you keep building towards it. And he's milking Partey, he's milking Tomiyasu and all these guys, and we'll see what happens, man. Let's have a go at it. But I thought it was an interesting game. I'm feeling a little better. Like I thought my heart was going to go during the game. The penalties, I mean, my God. I mean, it's going to get even more fun, but these are the moments you live for, and this is what we wanted. We wanted the Champions League and the big games, and this is what you got.
I hear you. Yeah. No, Mr. Tom, what'd you think about the game? At least out of the bits that you know of, I assume you either did a little video review or you just been hearing along the
no,
the
I
YouTube
listened
wires.
to you react to the penalty shootout.
Yeah.
And that was about it. I was going around the court on NBA 2K24 as the penalty shootout was happening.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I'm one of the greatest 3-pointers to ever lace up the boots. By the way, I'm just saying. I'm on my way. Right.
What's funny?
I got 110 points in the game. So I'm gonna say.
What's funny? Like 2 months ago, you were talking about how horrible you are at it. Is it my new controller with your brand new PlayStation 5? What is it, Tom?
I think I've grinded my character. I'm not as good at stealing though now. Anyway, sorry. We're talking about Arsenal versus.
Yes.
Put in work. That's what it is, Tony. He's putting in that work.
Yeah. I've just surpassed I'm Joel Embiid on the greatest of all time list. Anyway, I've got some way to go before MJ. Anyway, sorry. So let's talk seriously about football. I thought you did an admirable job on the night in difficult circumstances, and you held your nerve when it counted.
Yep. No, very, very, very true. I think, as you said, Arteta should have known how they were going to play, right? You should have known how they were going to play, and you should. I would like to think he's gonna at some point have an answer that involves us maybe getting a little bit more tack-minded. And the one thing that we have now, I think Erdegaard has been pretty good. If you look at it all season, he's been pretty good in terms of what he's been creating. We haven't looked like it, and that's been the problem. We haven't been finishing, that's been the problem. And even though he usually stays to the right side of the pitch, he was on the left side when he made that pass in the first part of the game to Trossard, split about 4 defenders. Trossard was able to get a touch and then put it through Pepe's legs, if I recall, and scores to the far post, or towards the far post. And so I think we've got a hot player there, and we need to figure out how to get more use out of him and maybe get some more goals. We're going to need it when we play next, and definitely when we play in the Champions League. So, Spencer, talk to me about our captain.
You're watching him grow up, and not just technically, but like the leadership skills on the actual pitch, the telling guys when to press. His football IQ is just raising and raising with every time we see him play. And I know I heard someone complain about, you shouldn't tell, like, captains shouldn't tell fans to pump up. I think the guy was just complaining to complain, but you're watching him just grow up, and his footwork is just something else to see. And I think if you're sitting here not recognizing Odegaard's talent at this point, I don't know what to tell you. I know the people on this panel recognize it and everything, but I mean, it was a beautiful pass, good movement by Trossard. I mean, we're lucky to have him. I think 30 million we paid for him. I mean, what a steal. So value for money, well earned.
Trossard, bloody loser.
But no, but yeah, Odegaard excellent, Trossard excellent. I was actually thought Trossard was having a bad half there until he scored the goal. I thought he wasn't playing very well, but he ended up getting the goal, and maybe we got cheated out of a goal later on in the
this
game.
much of an angle. He had so little error to get that goal in there.
Yeah.
That's the moments of brilliance.
I couldn't help myself.
I definitely enjoyed that, and as Tony did say, he did miss an opportunity to score early in the game, but we'll get in. Before we do that, we will introduce our 5th person to the stage.
Like they bought their way out of League One, Stefan.
Yeah. So let's say hello. It's Lonzo, welcome to the show. Hello. Yes. Erdegaard, maestro, magician for sure. So Tony, talk to me about our captain, and at least we'll get into the goal that was not, but let's go into the goal that was.
To me, it's hard to say our captain because the way it is, there's 3 captains. Neither of the 2 are official, but you have Rice and you have Gabriel. Pretty much every set piece, they sit there and talk. Gabriel goes back, looks at the set, then half the time he comes back and tells Batu what he wants to do. But you got all 3 guys communicating with everybody, and it helps if your captain's a midfielder. It helps because you can tell somebody on the back line or somebody up front they're not isolated. That's why I didn't like it when we had Lacazette and some other forwards as their captain, especially Aubameyang. You get a raise to 400,000. You're making them 40,000 for each goal that comes in. Oh, and you give a captain's ban that you don't deserve at all. But anyway, as far as Odegaard by himself, like Spencer said, he's mature and he's learning to take responsibility on the field and tries to involve the fans and stuff too. But it's kind of a triad. It's really not one captain.
Yeah, I would have agreed with you earlier part of the season, but when we're playing a really good game, when we're having a good game, there's one vocal leader, and that's the one thing that Erdegaard was missing. and that's why it was like, what's going on? We need. I always say we need that one person to stand up and do something. He hasn't got to the point where he just, when we need a goal, he'll just go and make, shoot and score. But what he has done and what he continues to do is, like you said, he leads that press, and that seems to be our identity when we are looking really good and teams are getting nothing. Like in that run of when we went undefeated, it was him up the top,
That's
basically
two on the nose,
leading
Stefan.
leading that
Too
press.
obvious, mate.
Yeah, so that was him. That wasn't Rice. That wasn't Gabrielle. That was him leading the line, and making sure everybody was leading. So that's what a captain's supposed to do, and that's what he's been doing. So I hear you. Rice definitely, by example, definitely does it. Has shown we can do what we need as well. Gabrielle defensively was solid on the back, but we needed somebody. He's got the armband. He's actually taken on a lot more of a bigger role there. So, Mr. Tom, anything you want to say about Erdogan?
Yeah, I have something to say about Tony's diatribe.
Okay.
I like the part where he said we got 3 captains, because in my head it was like, fuck it, why not go the whole hog and just go, we're so good, we've got 11 captains, we've got 11 leaders out there, and I love them all.
Well, we went for a period of 3 years where we had 5 fucking captains, so you're not far off, Tom.
I hear you, but I just, like I said, I don't believe we've got 3 captains. We got 1.
Yeah. Go rewatch those last 2 Champion League games.
I'm talking about in general. When we needed someone, he's always there, and he's been there. And the reason why we scored a goal is because he did his job really well.
He leads by example too. Like that's the thing about Odegaard. He's not vocal, but he leads by example. He tells them when to press. He's just the maestro on the field, and you can see it.
You know what? He's a bloody good footballer. Is that Odegaard?
Yeah.
He is. He seriously is. It's obvious. Like the eye test. The eye test is enough. Okay. I know this is gonna sound really silly because I may have mentioned it once or twice, but when you play Sheffield United, there are a lot of little things you did that ended it as a contest within 4 minutes of the clock being on. I know they're terrible and you're very good, so that's not the best example. But there were just ways that you swarmed them, even on silly things like throw-ins. It was very impressive. And I don't give praise out lightly to Arsenal, mainly because it's more fun to troll you all. But that was very good stuff.
Yeah.
I liked how you threw it into a pack of their players. And you'd swarm them. Like, they were almost intimidated, but they were like, why are you giving us the ball on a throw-in? Like, because we can get it back further up the pitch, you fuckers.
Yeah.
You blade-eating fucks. Anyway,
I hear you. No, you know what? If you're going to say that Rice and Gabriel are our leaders, then definitely Jorginho for me, as BX Gunner says here, is, I don't know if they're neck and neck because one's got the armband and actually leads the line for us, but Jorginho also kind of has that senior leadership that we need as well on the squad.
Yeah, but he just doesn't play that much.
But exactly. So he will not get. He's not at that level. But as I said, the most vocal one on the field. You said all people see it. Been complaining about it. Front line. He's been doing it all. Lonzo, talk to me about. Yeah. I say our captain and how he performed. At least we're talking about that goal, the goal. But you can bring on the leadership as well if you want.
Yeah, that pass, that assist that Odegaard got to Trossard there at the first half was pretty special. Like you guys were saying, like he makes key plays and leadership plays as well. And sometimes whenever last year whenever Arteta named him captain full time, there was like spurts of leadership there, and I think that now he's going to go older in that role, in that captaincy role, and it helps having guys like Jorginho being the elder statesman of the club, being there for him. And like Jorginho, I think leads by example as well. I think it's important to have a leader who's was at Chelsea, who's won it all. Have Odegaard become vocal and become like like another brother kind of on the team. And like Tony mentioned, Rice. Rice is a good captain for West Ham, and he was also very young as well. He was handed the captain's armband there at West Ham. So I don't see. I think I see Jorginho being more of a third captain, if that's the case, if we had one. Being more of an assistant captain whenever Odegaard is off the pitch and not playing. And Gabriel Magalhaes, yeah, he's a good vocal leader, but to me, he's not that kind of captain. But he is very good in the sense that he's starting to become that leader in the back, like you guys were saying earlier. So yeah, I'm very keen on Odegaard being a captain. I had no issues with that, and it's good to have a young captain because he could stay there for a long time. I think in our past captains, they've been like 1 or 2 years, and they've been hurt all the time as well. So I remember whenever started first following Arsenal, you had William Gallas being the captain, which made no sense, and then Fabregas got it, and you all remember how young Fabregas was when he got the captain's armband. So when he left, there was a who's who of captains. You had Van Persie, you had Vermaelen, and you had Arteta. Then the captains went to Mertesacker and then Koscielny. So we really haven't had a long-term captain since it's been a while. So to see Odegaard grow in that role is pretty impressive, and how he's handled the pressure has been well done, I think. And to have guys like Xhaka last year, and now you have Jorginho there this year, it's kind of important to have, like I said, older players help Odegaard in the brightest of moments.
True. So I just let Sam and Bakeskin, I did see your comments about some of our players, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Mr. Tom, I know these guys have been going back and forth with you. I don't know if you have anything you want to say about whatever they're talking about. There's a lot of stuff they've been talking about, but
There's
I
so
assume
much
it's
going on in this chat. It's epic. Let me tell you something, brother. We've got some seriously high viewership today. Lots of comments. It's good stuff. I smell it and it's delicious. It's the smell of success on the 100th episode. No, seriously, it's awesomeness. And Tony, you look like you look like you've you look like you've just thought of Tiffany Stratton naked or something. You look very pleased with yourself.
Part of it's squinting from the bright sun coming in, but
Of course,
I
that
can
makes sense.
still think of the picture
No,
Stratton
no,
that
there's
I
no
showed
need
you
for that.
earlier.
I immediately
all
regret the
right. See, I
suggestion.
know. Oh, you know what? When you said what you said, I'm sitting there going,
Yeah.
you know what?
Nah.
You just basically just open the door on.
Yeah.
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 So let's
You're right.
let's
I
move on.
apologise.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Why not? I see a quote here. Why is it good to have a young captain, an inexperienced captain and a leader? I hear the inexperienced part, but I think Arteta needed someone who's going to be an extension of himself. And he saw that in Erdegaard. I didn't see it early either. I didn't think that was the best choice. But if you looked at our squad, even when he came in that January, we needed someone. He decided I'm going to go with this player. I think it's taken him some time, but I think he's getting there. I think he gets compared to KDB, and some of the things that KDB does that he eventually will have to do for us as well. But he has led in terms of by what the instructions are for the team. He's been one of the leaders for that. He's been the voice for it. Does he not? He doesn't have to experience as far as winning trophies or whatnot. But nobody really did in our squad, right? We brought in some players recently, but I think he's doing what needs to be done as a captain on a young team and as a young captain. So, I think he's doing what he needs to do. So I'm happy with that. But Yeah, so let's talk about the goal that wasn't. Spencer, I don't know how you felt about it, but it could have been.
So I'll get back to that, but I want to say something about Odegaard, like the
Okay.
things that we don't see about Odegaard, what he does potentially on the practice field.
Must have been a dog barking because that's usually when he goes away mid speech there. But Tony, I'll let you speak, and then we'll come back to Spencer when he comes back. But and I'll let him talk about the captaincy. But you did mention what is that? What is that? What is that, Mr. Tom?
Sorry, no, I'm just paying tribute to Roman Reigns, as he's currently in his 1,296th day as WWE Universal Champion. So
Okay, and this
we are the ones.
this wasted 30 seconds by Mr. Tom was brought to you by Roman Reigns.
It was actually my fault.
And yeah, and Spencer, who decided to leave us.
So yeah, it's like the little extra things that he does. You know, the stuff that we see that potentially like in the practice field and stuff like that. Stuff that Arteta recognizes. He captained Norway in 2021. So he's got experience being a leader, and also Arteta's a former captain, and leaders recognize other leaders. Like iron sharpens iron. I mean, he's been excellent. He's been more than what we can ask for. But as far as that goal, man, if you're gonna pull away, if the Trossard penalty on Saturday wasn't a penalty, then what Hazard did wasn't a penalty. But I think they're both penalties. But there's no consistency, right? I thought it was kind of soft, but he pulled the shirt a little bit. But if you're going to let Trossard get pretty much pulled down to the ground and no one's going to do anything about it, you know, two different leagues, you know, like Champions League versus Premier League, but the lack of consistency. So, in my honest opinion, it's a foul. But, you know, fortunately, it didn't come back to bite us because that would have been the goal we needed, and that probably would have sealed the game up easily, I think, at that point.
True. Yeah, no, I definitely believe that was a foul. I mean, he held on so long. He held on so long that the play was over and he was still holding on. He didn't realize where he was, what was going on the pitch. Didn't know where the ball was and what was going on because he held on for a very long time. All he needed to do was give Erdegaard some space, and he held on and could have if he let go. I think sooner it doesn't even get caught. But he held on for a very long time to the fact that the player pulled away. So, Tony, talk to me about the goal that wasn't.
Not really sure what else to add besides what you guys said, but part of a referee, he was swallowing a whistle a lot because I don't think he wanted to have a repeat of what the first referee did in the first game because it was just a constant stop-start on this one, especially the last 30 minutes of the second half. He just wasn't blowing anything. He was just letting the guys play. Normally, yeah, probably gets called, but sometimes you gotta fall down. But we've seen that doesn't work because when Saka started doing that last year, or actually the end of the year before, every time he did it, he'd get whistled. He got a couple of cards for it, but guys beat up on him. He falls down by the contact. Nothing happens. He gets smashed to the ground. He doesn't react. Nothing happens. So basically, he's got no protection. And that happens a lot in the league, but this is Champions League. But I thought the guy was just letting everybody play. So
He definitely swallowed the whistle. That's right about that. He definitely did. And, the brother, I think he's a long lost cousin of Trossard. He did not give us much in our favor. Miss Molina has joined us.
I just want to know
Welcome
what
to
language they were talking.
Welcome to the show, Miss Molina. I'll let you finish, Tony. Sorry, I thought you took a break there, but go ahead.
I said I just wondered what language that referees talk because it just started seemed like they were having a good conversation in whatever language it was.
Yep. Yeah, well, I
It's
don't.
Tony Cyclops from the X-Men.
Yeah, it's got.
Feels like if he takes
this-
his glasses off, a energy beam's going to hit the
yeah,
camera.
that
or
the sun
something.
is just hitting him right perfectly, right above the, right above it's the forehead there. So
Yeah.
gone. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Wrestling is all rigged, Mr. Tom. It's not real.
Wait, what?
Wrestling is not real. It's rigged, man.
Wait, Santa Claus is not real.
Mm.
What?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Brownie's joined us. Welcome to the show,
What?
Brownie.
It
Since
gets
when?
it gets real at times. We've seen some real kicks to the head the last few
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I like I said, I think that was an easy call for the referee to make, and it was made, and it went against us. So, and I did bring
I'm
up
gonna do it.
why not?
I'm gonna do it.
No, stop. Why not? Oh my gosh, no.
Wrestling is real.
I'm gonna mute this guy. Oh jeez. This.
What's he got?
I don't know what he's doing, but he ran off to do something. So I don't know. We'll see what happens when he comes back. Lonzo left us as well. I only brought up KDB as somebody who is a creator in the middle for their squad. That's it. It's not his levels. He's not KDB level for sure. So not saying that at all. But if you're going to be looking up to someone and you're going to try to mimic their traits, then that's what he would be looking at. Oh, no, I don't know what. See what you did there, Spencer?
They attacked wrestling. Wrestling's real, Gary.
Yeah. Oh, true. Arsenal Misfit, speaking of KDB, he did not look happy being subbed. Is the pressure of the 115 charges getting to the players? That should wipe out everything they've done as a club. I doubt that's it. It's just I think those players can put that stuff to the side and just do their job, which is what they did throughout this whole entire time. So as I said, Brownie's joined us. Everybody, Miss Molina's in the house. Yes. So, oh, Chris Nix has joined us as well. Welcome to the show. Chris Nix has joined us on what was a really bad Sunday for Chris, or is it not really? Are you not a Liverpool fan now, or I get confused sometimes. Mr. Tom's got 2 trophies, 2 belts now. What the world? Stefan even says it. And this man writes he writes fiction. All right, he should know what's true and what's real and fake.
I'm living my dream right now. I'm living
Chad,
my
welcome to the
dream.
show. Hope you're doing all right. It's been a long weekend for you. I know that much. Oh, yeah. No, I mean that. Like I said, I think it's just it's a player to look up to as far as where he needs to go. If that's where if he can get there, we'll see. So it's just a comparison. It's not a. It's actually a goal that should be of his, and not necessarily a comparison. So, as far as the rest of the players, for me, Saka, pretty quiet. I think they kept him at bay. I mean, I know he got like an 8.2 on the ratings here, but I mean, he was, kept at bay as much. They did a good job keeping him quiet. I think it was, I think sometimes players get to him. I think sometimes he needs to put his head down. Defensively, they didn't get much, right? They didn't threaten us as much as they did the first game. QEO did what he needed to do. Benjamin White has been consistent, and Jorginho and Rice basically keep it going. So for me, Kai, I think we let them control the game more than we got to do it ourselves, and that kind of put us, basically in second gear. Lonzo, we're talking about the rest of the players. I don't know, anybody else stand out for you? And we'll get into. We'll hold off on the goalkeeper for last, but any of the outfield players stand out?
Yeah, to me, yeah, I think ever since QVR, it's kind of come into his own a little bit there. And whenever Zinchenko's been hurt, he's been really now stable within the club and starting 11. And I don't see how Tim Ray get on the club now. I think that whenever. I think what was impressive about QBR is that the way he's presenting himself, he's not getting in trouble, he's not getting carded. He's focused, and I think he's in his zone now where he's not getting to it out of depth of what he could do and he can't do. I think there's a high ceiling there for QBR, which is kind of good and bad to have. I think we all want in competition on our positions, and we all of a sudden have a problem, which is unique to me. Because we brought Kigar as a center back and for depth in that area, but Arteta has a knack of using players and bringing the best out of them, not only in the position they're signing for, but the position that they're asked to do, and he's done a good job there. It's interesting to see how Timber comes back and Zinchenko, and how they fit in. Because it's gonna be hard to take out a good player out of the start 11 and not giving them proper reason why they're not going to play. So I'm just surprised of how well he's done so far this year and continues to do so and continues to impress me really. And I'm sure that there's other players that we'll talk about as well in that match. But yeah, for me, it's QBR.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, Kyrior is getting a lot of experience is what he needed. So, and as people have said many times, Arteta doesn't just pick players for one position. They have to be a little bit versatile. Everybody has to deal with. They either have to. They have to.
And we haven't seen him play in his main position. His main position is central defensive midfielder.
I disagree with that, Tony. I think he's a center back, and he's Arteta views him as a left back. So I don't know what people think, or you think that he's a central defensive midfielder. I don't see
because
it.
he used to play there all the time, Alonso. That's why.
Where at, Tony?
It's where he played at when we signed him.
No. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he a center back before he came out Arsenal? You guys know?
I'm just looking now, and he's played pretty much anywhere on the back line. Mostly center back, based on what it says here. But he has played on the left side, actually, and he's played in that defensive midfield as well. So he can play pretty much anywhere on the back line. It says mostly center back here on market. Was it market transfer market? So I think he can play anywhere based on this. So there you go. Spencer, talk to me about the other players. Kind of talked about, I guess, to some degrees, Trossard and Erdegaard, but I think I don't know if anybody else stood out for you in the game.
You're talking about on Monday. Trying to think here. Somebody else stood out to me. Raya, we haven't mentioned him.
I said besides Raya because he's an easy one.
I mean, Havertz does these great, I guess you call it shithousery activities that I just think we've needed on this team for a while. And he's kind of like the counterbalance. He's that dark arts guy out there that tries to do a little extra and play the ref. And that was a key critical thing. But I mean, I think we've almost pretty much touched everybody as far as anybody that stood out. Ben White, I thought, had a good game too, as he always does. It was just an epic chess match, and we passed it. And I think that's really I've heard people say, well, Man City beat them 6-1 and Liverpool beat them 5-1. I don't care about that. The job was to get past the get past the round of 16 and get to the quarterfinals. Cool. You beat Porto a couple years ago 6-1. Congratulations. But I mean, we're going to keep moving the post with this team, and obviously the end goal is to win one of these trophies. But it's just really interesting to see how he's managing people too, especially the ones that are injured regularly. Gary, I'm talking like the Tomiyasu, the Partey, not rushing Partey back because he really doesn't need to rush him back. We got to. That 31st, that game's creeping up very slowly here. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens at the Etihad on Easter Sunday. But Yeah, I mean, I know I've heard some people say that maybe the subs should have been used a little earlier, but I mean, you got through, and that was the goal, and that's really all you can ask for, man. Like, would we like to win 6-0? Sure, absolutely, but
yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to know. It doesn't sound like you have any. Tony, do you have anybody else that you saw?
It's kind of, to me, the whole game came up to four brilliant individual things. It was Odegaard with his pass to start with a goal, then Raya with two saves. But other than that, like I mentioned earlier, I thought Gabriel was doing good, especially on the set pieces coming in there. And then him, Rice, and Odegaard basically have a meeting saying, trying to figure out what they're going to do, looking back at it, then coming back and call if it's play they wanted to call. So
I have
it
a
was definitely a
request for
team
you,
effort,
Tony.
but those 3 or 4 guys stood out.
I have a request for you, Tony, please.
No, let's continue with the football. We'll do the request after.
No, it's a great idea.
Can we ask this guy if wrestling's real, Tom?
Tony, can you please... No,
Is
there's no
wrestling
need to
real,
fake
Tom?
outrage him. Tony, can you do me a favour and repeat what you just said, but using the voice of an older lady?
No, we're not doing
Almost
that. We're moving on. No, I hear you, Mr. Tom, but we're not doing that. Anything you got to say,
Please.
Mr. Tom, about the other players on the pitch besides the goalkeeper before we continue on?
Well, what are we going to continue on to?
The goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to say it. I thought we already addressed that part of it earlier on. Not the goalkeeper, I mean just the game in general.
We talked about the game in general. We talked about some of the highlights, which was the Erdegaard pass to Trossard.
He's asking if any players.
But all right, we'll move on. We'll go to the goalkeeper. So, as somebody said in the Bronco Spencer said, looks like we have our number one goalkeeper, and hopefully nobody has no more questions about that. Raya has supplanted himself. He did what he needed to show up, and he did. He did when we needed it. And when you get your hands on 3 balls and you keep 2 of them out, I think that's what we needed. We needed him to do a statement game, and this hopefully is it. And let's talk about where he, Ramsdale and should come back in and all this stuff. Hopefully that's done for now. Because Ramsdale, as we know, isn't as good as a penalty kick specialist. So Ray has done that when we needed it. So Lonzo, talk to me about Raya.
I think that Arteta got a lot of stick for the way he brought in on Raya, the way he did. Caught me off guard. I'm sure it caught you guys off guard. And how we implement Raya in the starting 11. And I was quite puzzled because Ramsdale helped us get to the second in the league, and I know probably Tony's stats and all that, but to me, Ramsdale is still a pretty good goalkeeper, and the way I think Raya's move to Arsenal was quite shocking at that time. But he's kind of
just trying to stick to kind of how he did in the game, because we're at an hour now. So tell me about how he did in the game, especially at the end.
I thought his composure was really well. I think that the way he saved both penalty kicks was pretty amazing. He kind of guessed himself on where the player was going to take it to on the lower right rather. So that was smart on him. So he did pretty well there.
Very true. Very true. Yes, people were laughing, Spencer, at the penalty kicks during the preseason. Looks like there's always a reason behind the madness. you have nothing to say, or did I not?
Oh, I did. I was agreeing. There was nothing to disagree on that one. I think it's 100% accurate. I think they've been prepping from this moment since day one. I think he looked back because we went out a round of 16 of Europa League last year on penalties, right? And I think he was sitting there thinking, like, if I can get my hands on some actual game time situational penalties, why not? I mean, we did it at the Community Shield. I believe the Emirates Cup went to a shootout as well. I think we lost that one, but and I think we also lost the one at Man United, the game up there. But it's all about that experience and the repetitions and getting the guys the confidence. And there's no doubt in my mind the Community Shield win and the penalty kicks there impacted how Arsenal played Man City later at home in the season. So it's a growth process. I know some people just want the trophies and all that stuff and the destination and the journey crap. We can talk about that till we're blue in the face, but this is part of it. You don't breed a winner overnight. This has been very calculated. There's been some mistakes along the way, but the trajectory is really exciting for this club right now. And I mean, we're gonna get to exercise some demons. It's the quarter, keep the curse alive or revenge, right? Like that's what the title says there. We're gonna get a chance to potentially avenge that 10-2 shellacking from Bayern Munich. So. But Raya's the guy, and he was great in those penalties, man.
Cool. And Tony, I guess they got a request for you to do an old lady's voice while you respond to Raya. Can you do that?
And that was the way my throat is, but
All right.
I'll try
Not
to
today,
make
folks. Not today, folks. Let him not kill his voice. So talk to me about Raya.
Please do it.
What did you leave off with, Spitzer? That's where I start from.
So I left off on the growth and the process and revenging Bayern Munich and the penalties. Yep.
That's what I was gonna say. How do you revenge a decade later? I mean, come on.
Changing the culture, Tony. There's a perception that Arsenal fails in Europe, and it's a true perception based on results. This is the chance to avenge it and change the course of history.
Yeah. I mean, it's like saying It's like saying the wins against City mean nothing because we always lost to them. No, they are a change. They are us moving forward. We've beaten them twice already in a season, right? When's the last time we beat them twice in like a decade? It's been a while. So
I think this begs a slightly different question to Tony. What is the statute of limitations on revenge, Tony?
Over a decade in football.
Over a decade, you can't go back. So when we hadn't played Nottingham Forest for like 30 years, then it doesn't really matter. It's like we never played them ever.
Pretty much.
Got it.
I mean, revenge is best served cold, is what they say, but
or dead cold. Like,
I mean, I get what Tony's saying to an extent. None of the players that were currently on this roster have anything to do with that 10-2 defeat, except maybe Arteta, right? Like, that's it. Outside of that, like, I get it. But it's the culture of the club and the perception. And if you want to be taken seriously, you have to beat teams like this. If you want to go get the
best served within 10 years, apparently, according to Tony. Sorry, Spencer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I mean, but this is part of it, man. This is part of it. If you want to attract some of the big names in Europe, you've got to keep going further in this competition.
True.
Bayern Munich have tried to make it fairer. They've added 2 Spurs players to their squad, so
that is fact.
Yeah.
And they're having
before we continue on, Spencer, it's not Spencer. Lonzo, you have something to say. I don't rush you off your thoughts. If you pause,
because I was
long
going
enough, I will move on.
Like you said, Tony, right? So when I was talking about Raya, the way he moved to Arsenal was pretty questionable. I thought so. And then, Ramsdale was out of the loop. I thought Ramsdale did a good decision before, but then, we get Raya. Well, eventually it panned out, I think, I hope. But But yeah, I think that you take a risk, right? When we make those kind of moves. Knowing the person did well last year, that's all I was gonna say, Gary. I mean, I think the way he handled himself during the goalkeeping apparently shootout was pretty well done. So yeah.
Cool. All right, Tony. Anything else before we move on to Mr. Tom?
I think a lot of it's his speed. Besides getting the stops, he gets the ball out, and that's part of how we've gone on this run where we're getting 5 or 6 goals a game. But as far as that game, it was just two brilliant plays that he just came out and did. You usually don't see a keeper block two. You see it every once in a while, but usually when it goes to spot kicks, it's usually guessing the correct direction one time is usually what's good enough way. But he guessed right 3 times and 2 of them get the ball out. So
Very cool.
time to move forward. And the other thing I said is my tweet right after the game is like, I hope the goalkeeping thing is done now because, I mean, you can't keep bringing up Ramsdale forever. He's not a goalkeeper.
Very cool. Yep.
Barely, Tony.
I don't like the goalkeeper carousel we've been going on, but it's what Arteta wants to do. So
I don't think it's been a carousel though, to be honest with you guys, because I think Arteta's already made up his mind the minute he went and got Raya, and I think the fans have kept the Raya.
Yeah, but you went from Leno to it was a carousel.
Well, if you want to talk from when he first got here, I see your point there. Yeah, but I think the Raya Ramsdale debate's been over since they brought him in.
When he's been here 4 years, and we've had at least four goalkeepers come in. Actually, we've had 5 goalkeepers come in since he's been here. So yeah, so at least at some point we're gonna have to establish a number one that can actually play through 2 seasons. We haven't got there yet.
Now we have to do what we've done with 2 previous years: is go find a number 2 again. Last year we had Turner and then Matt Ryan. I think we should have tried anything to get Ryan into that.
But I think we got Matt Ryan on loan, Tony, so he was not going to last very long.
I think I was out with an option.
They could have gotten him if they wanted him, Lonzo. I do think so. And he was technically a loan, but yeah.
But he wanted to start, right? You're talking about Matt Ryan, right? He wanted to
start.
Arsenal it's the same thing with Emmy, right? These goalkeepers need to start, and when they don't get it, when they know they're not going to get that opportunity, then they move on.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Tom, anything you want to say about the Arsenal goalkeeper?
Yeah, he's doing fantastic until he makes a mistake and you all clamour for the other one.
No, he's already made mistakes, and some of us have not been clamoring for the other one.
Fickle. Anytime he concedes, you all wish the other one to
You're
exist.
not talking to that person, not me.
Genuinely
fickle. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
Your fan base as a whole. Your fan base. Our community. Exactly what happens in our community. I don't recall the words, Gary, this is something you do, coming out of my mouth.
So then why? Who are you not talking to any of us here then? Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you all as a collective. It's what you do.
So we can talk to you as a collective then?
I am the official representative.
Oh, sorry. You have a bigger part to play.
We don't win. My phone blows up like I am.
Oh man! All right, you got a bigger job than us.
He's busy watching wrestling right now, seeing the results.
All right, so
Tom, did you get any special Christmas?
No. We're not talking about this. Let's move on. Before we get out of here, we still got a couple things we might want to talk. I'll let you guys talk about whatever you want. But we've got our next game coming up, the City game. We've got a Champions League game against Bayern Munich. And we also hopefully will have new players coming back. I'll let you guys kind of, those are kind of the 3 topics I think we probably could cover. People want to hear about, and we can kind of discuss that. So, Mr. Tony, I'll let you go first. You pick whatever you want. But those are 3 topics I think that would be good to talk about. You can choose whatever you want. There were comments in here earlier, about Timber coming back, and of course Eddie's value, or value or not. But
Yeah.
go on. Let me know
Yeah.
where you want to go.
I'll go with 2 different directions here. As far as players coming back, I really don't want any of them coming back because what we're doing's been better without them. Without Zinchenko, we've been a million times better. Without Jesus, we've seen it 2 years in a row that when he's out, we score goals in bunches. So really not looking for anybody coming back. Tamiyasu, you can't trust. He'll get hurt the same day because he went from one calf strain in one leg to other.
That didn't happen this season, Tony.
It
It's all about
happened this season.
he had
did
both of
happen
his
this season.
hamstrings this season, not like he did the previous season. It definitely happened the previous season, but it happened this one too.
Yes,
Oh,
he
okay.
was ready to come back and hurt the other one.
I did not know that. I did not
Yes.
know that. I did, but you know what? One thing you're forgetting is we need a squad. We are not going to play the same 11 for the next 12 games. I'm sorry, not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
He tries it every year, so
It's
maybe it'll
not
pay
going
off for
to
us.
happen. Yes, but it's not going to happen. We need a squad. We need 15 to 16 players to be able to make it through this season and win any of the trophies that are still on our plate. Spencer, yeah, you done? You got some more on that?
No, I'm not done. I was listening to you discussing.
Never is. Seemingly.
Never done.
I mean,
but yeah, people like Timber. I mean, how long is it to take him to get up to speed? The season's gonna be over before he's up to speed because he's not have enough games to be up to game match fit. He'll be fit enough to go out there, but he won't be fit enough to compete for 90 minutes. So that's kind of a liability for somebody that's been hurt for the entire season. He's been out 9 months, so wouldn't worry about that. But as far as Bayern Munich, we need to not do what we did against Porto. We just need to go out there and play our style. Knowing them, they'll probably do the same thing. They're not having a good year, really. So it's time to go out there and claim another scalp and move on to the next team that comes up.
I hear you. I know, Spencer, you had some.
Yeah, I mean,
on I guess the squad and the squad. I guess.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to make it through 10 games in the league. What? If you're fortunate enough, 5 Champions League games, right? If everything, that's 15 games. You're going to need a squad of 15, 16 to make it. Now, I know the thing with Timber, because Tony, you brought him up, you may not get him for 90 minutes, but he can give you 30. And that may be what you need. And Eddie's going to give you 10 here. Smith Rowe's going to give you 20 in this game. Like, it's going to take a full 16 to 17 guy effort to win this league and to even potentially win the Champions League.
And it's to take a manager that subs before the 80th minute.
But you got to understand, Tony, you can't just sub to sub. Because just because you make a sub, it doesn't guarantee that you're actually going to get a talent for talent sub. I know I say that like for like, taking Eddie Saka off at the 60th minute and throwing Reese on, he's not the same level as Saka, right? He's a good player, but you have, I mean, like, and I know what you're saying, and I'm not thinking you're wrong, but you just can't make subs to make subs. They have to make sense. If we took a guy off on Tuesday, we were really going to risk the balance of that team. I mean, I'm sitting here watching the game, and I'm like, well, who do you really take off?
If you go to a first one, we make one substitution.
Mm-hmm.
One when you have 5.
I know, but the point is, like, the margins are so thin between you and Porto when it came to the tactical management of that game. The minute you take a guy off, you potentially leave another aspect of the game wide open. For example, Reese might have that good pace, but he doesn't have the same defensive prowess that Saka has. You know what I mean? Like that becomes the worry. Now I know Gary's going to say, well, then why is Reese on the team? And this is all part of that progression. There's potential Reese leaves in the summer, right? But Smith Rowe was kicking on great in 21, and then he got injured in 22. But he just needs that goal to break through for him to keep going. But if you bring him on for Odegaard, does he give you the same footwork that Odegaard gives you, in the same pace and the same? You know what I mean? Like we're there close to that squad level, but we're not just there yet. I think we're like one transfer window away where you bring in a couple other guys and it's going to make a difference. I hear what you're saying, Tony. I'm not disagreeing.
But you guys are contradicting yourself. You're saying we need 15, 16 guys, but here there is a game that you think that it's okay to make one substitution. I mean,
in that Porto game, I think one substitution was the right moment at that time, based on the what was good. I mean, you got to think about this. If we'd have brought in 3 or 4 subs and we lose that game, we'd automatically 100%, most of our fan base would be questioning the players that came on. Well, why did
we lost I'm talking about the first one. We did lose the first one.
Yeah.
Well, the problem and the reason we lost the first one is because we got sloppy at the end there. We got sloppy in the 93rd minute, thinking we could still get a goal, instead of just saying, you know what, we'll go 0-0 here. We'll go back home and we'll get them at home. That was the smart play. And the reality is you probably should have started Jorginho in that game, but he got it wrong. Right. The margins are so thin in the Champions League. That's why I was thinking about the Raya Ramsdale thing. And that's why Rammer got replaced, because he had a mistake in him. And, you know, you don't win this league unless you concede usually the team that concedes the less amount of goals is the team that wins the championship. It's happened, I think, the last 5 to 6 years. So, I mean, it's.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Let's Lonzo have a little chat. We were talking about the squad from here on out, and a little bit of Bayern Munich. So, what do you think about the squad, at least, Lonzo?
Well, yeah, I mean, right now they're in form. It kind of shows you that sometimes they got to dig deep to get that win. Case in point, when we played Brentford, right, Ramsdale gave up an easy goal, but then he made some good saves as well. So I think Havertz has done pretty well for himself lately. I think the back line hasn't given up that many goals. So, yeah, I mean, right now it kind of shows you that Arteta is willing to make changes, like putting Jorginho at number 6 and having Rice play number 8 with Odegaard. So right now, you know, my only concern is, if there was a concern, would it be Martinelli? Could he stay healthy the rest of the season, or can he be productive moving forward? I think he can. Whether or not his injuries and the team would come back and bite them, who knows? But right now we have somewhat players come back healthy, like Timber, like Tomiyasu, Partey as well. So we're getting healthy at the right time, it seems like. Maybe this rest, this interval could be a good thing for Arsenal. More practice, more players getting healthy, and looking forward to seeing Bayern Munich. I know that Arteta has those losses in the back of his mind, to see how they could beat Harry Kane, and Bayern Munich. They're still a very good team. So yeah, a lot of questions. Obviously, you know, they haven't been here in a while. This young team hasn't. So, you know, we're going to need a leadership. We're going to need to score goals. And looking forward to seeing Man City. I think it's at their place at the Etihad, so it's always going to be a tough game there. But I think we could do it. We're going to need to, because you know, we're going to play Chelsea, United, Tottenham, and City in that stretch of time. So, like they say, you know, we got to be the best, have to beat the best. And you know, right now, you know, Arsenal are in that state where they're in top of the league now, and they got to beat these teams, and with the pressure on them to do well. And I think we have just about. We could. I believe in this team now.
Yeah, no, for me anyways, reason why I feel like we're gonna, we need a bigger squad, and I think if you look at it, we've had in most cases we haven't had that many midweek games, so it was easy to play the starting 11 and give them most of the minutes. So, and definitely the last game, there was nothing after it, right? So, and it was important that we did what we did. I think with the upcoming break, I think Arteta said I can push these guys a little bit more, and he did. Usually we would feel like he would rest them, but he actually pushed them a lot. Now to get somewhat of a 2-week break for most of them will get a break, but some of them will continue to play throughout. So, but we need the squad and we need to get healthy. And like I said, Partey can play minutes for us. If he gets back to form, he can start for us. Jorginho will not play all 12 games that we have right now on our table, right? I don't think he will, especially when we get to those midweek games and some of those tough games that we have. So he's going to need to come in and out of the lineup, I believe. Havertz in the midfield doesn't comfort me as much as a Partey would if he's healthy. Tomiyasu gives us that back support. We might need to put somebody in our center back pairing. That's not Gabriel and Saliba. I would like to think that they can. I would like to be lucky and say we can play out the season with just 11 to 12 players. I don't see it. Why am I getting the finger?
I think if anybody's going to do the remaining 15 games, Gary, I think it's those two and Raya.
Yeah.
Outside, I mean, you could have Timber come in and play center back a little bit, but yeah, I think at worst, Gary, you're going to have them probably get subbed out one game, right?
Yeah.
And that would be if you go up 4 or 5-0 and someone sub them out and give them a break that way. But I think you're going to be relying on that center pairing. And
yeah, like I said, I like to be lucky, but we've not been lucky, and we have some seriously tough games. I mean, the 2 Bayern Munich games, the City game, the North London derby,
Brighton away,
the Chelsea game, the Manchester United game. We've got some really tough games where we're going to need to be in form, and the players will have to have some rest as well. So Tony, Mr. Tom, what were you going to say?
When your club were 8th and you were scrapping and clawing to finish 4th, you were doing that to end up in a situation where you are playing 2 matches against Bayern Munich. You were doing that so you'd play Man City, where the title actually hinged on the game. You got what you've earned and what you were working for. So enjoy it.
No. And as you recall, what I have said many, many times, especially last season, was we never played a season like we're playing this season, where we needed to have a full squad because we didn't play our starting players in the European games. They didn't get that many minutes. They actually got rest. The only person that played, I think, in all of them was Gabriel. Everybody else basically sat out and maybe came in for like 30 minutes. So for me, that is not in preparation as to what Champions League play is. I complained about that the entire time last season. So that's why I don't, he's doing this for the first time. And he didn't realize what kind of a squad he needed. I think he's, Jorginho, Trossard, Tomiyasu, and Kirio were pluses in this situation, right? But he needs more than that, We need more than that because Saka doesn't get a rest. Our center backs have not gotten any rest. Rice, I think he's been out one time, but otherwise not. So we need to have some sort of rotation, I think.
Yeah, but should he have learned that against Emery when they played in the semifinal of the UEFA?
More important than anything. Moderators, ban Arsenal misfit, please.
Well, what did he do now?
He's talking about the financial state of my club.
Yeah, don't ban him.
What did he say? Did he say something rude?
I didn't like it.
No, Tom didn't like the fact that We said that Leeds couldn't afford 100K a week. I
Oh.
didn't say it. Ryan said it.
I don't think that was rude. Is that a fact? Can you afford players over 100K a week? Mr.
We
Tom?
can while we're in the Premier League.
Okay, no,
Right
that's not the
now,
question.
I
I
would
didn't ask that
argue we
question.
cannot.
I didn't ask that question.
Reece
Can you
Nelson.
afford players over 100K?
I'll say this: if my team were to put out 100 grand a week for a player, it absolutely cannot be of the caliber of Reece Nelson.
And yeah, and that's the problem with that contract. There's a problem with Nketiah's contract. You know, there are players that are not getting. It's not even that they're getting paid that, as much as it. Guess what? If it doesn't pan out, which most fans would have told you it wasn't going to pan out, now what? Now what? You can't sell them. Nobody wants to take them because of their salary. They don't want to give them a chance because of their salary.
Right, so you can't.
You're basically giving them the poison pill on their contract. They're just not resellable. So yeah, that's the problem with the 100K. It's not that we can't afford it. It's that they're not when they don't pan out. What happens?
We're not
you
to pay
take
it
the
for
risk.
5 years, 4 years after the players left. I mean, what did you ever see out of Eddie that said, "Oh, I deserve 100,000 a week and 5 extra years"? Can anybody see what he had? Even Tom, your little buddy Eddie. Did you see what he should have made 100 grand for in a 5-year contract?
I thought you was investing in him as a person, and basically were like, this is us saying we're gonna play you more, which obviously hasn't really turned out to be the case.
Yeah, it's supposed to be him as a footballer, not him as a player. Not it's supposed to be him as a player and not as a person. Football teams usually purchase players to play, not because they're good people all
Wasn't
the
the
time.
reason they gave Eddie a new deal because he was going to walk for free and they didn't want to lose the asset because they want to sell him eventually and make money?
They're not going to make
They
any
had
money.
other
That's the
players
problem. They
to
never
sell.
do. Not when they take risks.
He's an
When they-
academy kid. You paid nothing for him.
Yeah, but he's nobody. Who's going to buy him? You gonna, Mr. Tom? You want to buy Nketiah?
Someone will buy him.
Yeah. Like I said, it wasn't worth the money we spent. They should have sold him when they had a chance. We always
Palace was
sell.
going to,
We
but
never
they didn't
take
want
the
to pay
opportunity to
I
sell
don't
the
think the
players
offer
when
was
they.
enough.
Yeah.
To Leeds personally.
Palace would have paid 70K a week for him. They wanted him for that, but he was on 100K.
He's perfect for Palace.
Well, he may still go there in the summer.
I just feel when it comes to that, I don't understand why our teams cannot say we'll just pay the difference, because you're not playing him. One, you're paying him the full amount. Somebody said I'm going to take him off your hands. You just have to cover the whatever, in this case 30% of his salary. Why don't you just do that,
guys?
Yes, sir.
You can offer me all your players all you want. The reality is, it could be the year 2039. It could be the year 2039, and I fully accept that we will still have Patrick Bamford up front.
No, he's got you what you wanted. So if that's what you want.
No matter no matter what we do to try and replace him, he rebuffs any attempt to get him out of the team.
No.
He always wins his place back. Somehow he just does.
Well, like I said, I as much as I've watched Leeds play, he fits in. But for me, Ruter, Somerville, Nanto, for me, those are the staples, I think, in the attack. I know Bamford does provide some attack as well, but for me, those are the players that you want to grow with, at least for now. You know what I mean?
They
all
play better because of Patrick Bamford, though.
If he's the glue, then perfect, right?
He is
the glue, then
say
perfect.
what you will. I know the perception of him and stuff, and I've said it a lot myself. But reality is that Piru doesn't do the closing down. That is it's Bamford's instinct to always be Bamford's as slow as a fucking tortoise, but he still attempts to chase down the goalkeeper.
Got that high football IQ, yeah.
Well, you know, and that's the thing that I want Nketiah to do. Like Nketiah came on, is it late in the Brentford match, right? He came in for whatever 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, whatever it was. The man still wasn't running. He still was not putting in any work.
I think non-negotiable is running in modern football.
He doesn't run for me. Like if he's been sitting, you know how long he's been sitting? He hasn't played in like weeks, it seems. Finally gets on a game, and the man's jogging. Come on.
It's not just mindless running. You got to run with purpose. There's got to be a plan behind it and what you're doing and why you're doing it. And this will sound really silly, but Bamford got that education from Marcelo Bielsa. As silly as this sounds, but he told him this is why I want you to do and why you do it, and it's ingrained in him.
You know what? When Nketiah didn't have a contract, people will remember this. The Chelsea game. The man was running at the back line, ended up getting 2 goals and getting a brace in that game. One, because of the effort of putting pressure on the back line. They coughed the ball up. He was able to jump on it and score, right? Since he's had that contract, I don't see him run like that anymore. And people even said that. I wonder if he's going to do that now that he has a contract. We're not seeing it.
Start doing it in year 5.
Exactly.
Sure.
So that's the problem with that. But you know, we're talking. We are taking. You know, I'm looking forward to the players coming back because I think we're going to need them. Timber gives, like you said, Timber gives us a couple minutes. Partey, I think, might have to start games if we got it. If Jesus comes back, I'd like to see Jesus play, being in the center, most likely for me on the right. You know, Saka doesn't need to play every game, especially when we're playing some of these teams in the off weeks when we're not playing the top teams. So I think, you know, these players I think will be vital for us to finish off the season. We're not going to do it with just 11. We're not.
Is this homegrown rule a real thing?
Is what?
Is the homegrown rule a real thing?
You know, I was listening to somebody. Like I said, I listened to Tom Canton, and he said it's not a thing. It's actually what it is. The rule is you cannot have a certain number of international players on your squad. That's the rule. That's the only rule that really matters.
When did it change? It was always you had to have 8.
So I think what ended up happening is you get basically when you take that international rule into place, you end up just with the rest British players, right? Because of the international rule, and that's where people get the home rule. Like they think that's the rule, but that's not necessarily the rule. Because you could have academy players that come in and out of the squad and stuff like that.
We had to sell and sign players based on that before, Gary. So how's that not a real thing?
I thought it was the international
I felt
players.
teams were bringing them in case they made a rule.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then there'd already be like, oh, well, fine, bring in the rule. We've already got 8 English players or whatever.
Yeah. See, here it is. The home rule, I'm just looking at what Wikipedia says. The Premier League proposed a maximum of 17 non-homegrown players in each squad. And the squad size is a maximum of 25.
But when you say propose, that means it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Like I could propose there would be at least 2 English people on the trip. But it doesn't mean that there will actually be 2 English people on the trip because there's 4 Yanks sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
So Gary's not a Yank. You know where Gary's the one.
He's
I don't think the Brits are claiming me, so I'm gonna have to go.
Pseudo Yank. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, I don't think there's a set rule, but that's what the home rule, the homegrown player rule has to do with basically non-homegrown players essentially. So you can have 8 homegrown players per se on your squad, because you can have 17 non-homegrown players. So there you go. It's kind of weird. Yes. To be classified as homegrown, one must be on an English team for at least 3 years before the age of 21. Yeah.
So if you can only have 17 international, then technically there is a homegrown rule.
But the homegrown rule is for it. I'm just reading what it says. So
no,
I hear what you're saying, but it's not necessarily that there's here's how many homegrown players you can have 7. You could just have 17 non-homegrown players. It isn't that you have to have 8 homegrown players. You know what I mean? That's what I believe the concept is. So, you know,
I think there's a fear though from teams that one day they will institute it, and teams want to be ready, which is why Man City will be like, we'll take Jack Grealish, we'll take Calvin Phillips, we'll let him sit on our bench for 2 years, we'll give him the West Ham, who are also sitting there going, all right, well, he's English, we'll take him on loan, whatever, in case it becomes a thing, like more of a like Iron Fist type thing.
Yeah. So basically the homegrown says you have to have basically it's the 17 non-homegrown players. That's the maximum. Otherwise, it doesn't.
Clubs are obliged to submit 25-man squad list after each window closes.
Yeah, but they don't have to, right? It's
They
not
have
required.
to.
They're obliged to. So they put some of their
they have
academies
to.
on there.
Under 21s don't count on it.
Yeah.
I'm reading that the Champions League require UEFA has a rule too.
Yeah, they have 3
homegrown
and 3 at the club.
Yeah, 4 club trained and then 4 association trained between the ages.
It's
of
not
15
a large percentage of the club. The club has to be homegrown. That's the thing.
This is
you know
why
what I mean?
It pays to play Football Manager, because
Yeah.
you learn the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't teach you this in FIFA there, Tom.
It's only age based. I don't know what this means, but it's only age based for like by 21, anyone 21 and older that's homegrown would have played for 3 years for the English squad. That's
my contention with the rules. Is like Liverpool got all the praise for their academy, which churned out Carabao Cup winners, and it was like, but they bought these people from other clubs.
Mm-hmm.
They still made it through Liverpool's academy.
Because they bought them when they were 16 and they won the Carabao at 19, legally, they are Liverpool Academy products, but they're not. It's fucking bollocks.
What about Arsenal? You side Saliba, you send him off for 3 years. He comes back, he's considered homegrown.
Yeah, but you probably blame Saliba for the JFK assassination, in all truth. Like,
but
you've been out for him.
Saliba didn't go to the Arsenal Academy. That's the difference. He qualifies as homegrown because he was in the club under the age of 21, but technically he never touched the academy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But do you think that should count as being a homegrown if you play for a team there on loan the entire time?
Yeah, I think so, because technically Arsenal probably still paying their wages, right? I'm sure it was like a split 50-50 or something. So
no, usually they pay all of it most of the time.
Yeah, I can't speak to that, but I think it counts. Do you think it counts, Tony?
I don't like my idea that you.
It is weird.
Players.
It is a really tricky line there, right? Because you can kind of like cheat the system almost.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
Well, I mean, it makes you wonder because like they have that rule, but then we always talk about, oh, this player is never going to leave Italy, right? This player is never going to leave France. This player is never going to leave Spain, but the English players leave, right?
Yeah,
they leave. So I mean, it's why are they leaving? All right, why are they leaving?
Better weather, Gary.
They've been, I guess so. TJ Warren has joined us, folks. Say hello to TJ. Check him out. He's got lots of shows going on. So smash the likes. But yeah, no, So basically, I think you're not obliged to put 25 down. It says you're obliged to put 25 down. I don't think you have to. You don't have to. If you don't have 8 homegrown players, then you can't, then the number drops. You know what I mean? Or is it something like that. So yeah. But that's that. I'm looking forward to the Bayern Munich game. I think it's also the Harry Kane. We need to. One of the things I said here is keep the curse alive, right? As in addition to a revenge for past games against Bayern Munich, but We beat Harry Kane home and away last year. It'd be nice to do that same thing again this year and knock them out of any opportunity to get at least a trophy in the Champions League. I do think we have the squad to do it. It's not going to be easy. Playing at home with a stadium full of just Arsenal fans, because the Bayern Munich cannot bring any of their fans. We need to take advantage of that.
Sorry, I got a question. Sorry, who did Arsenal draw again? Can you just say it again, please?
Bayern Munich.
That's not what you said about 3 seconds.
I might have mumbled. I mumbled a lot of stuff.
I want to know who
Why
Brian
are you calling me out my own show?
Who the hell is Brian Munich?
Why are you calling me on my own show? Everybody was okay about it except for you. Leave me alone.
I'm still trying to figure out who the fuck Arteta is, Tom.
I don't know who Harland is either.
Oh no, everybody's going after
I was trying to figure out who
No, don't you edit. No. I need somebody on my side.
The weekend? Was it Tranmere or Transmere?
You know what? I'm talking. Shut it.
Gary's officially with Swedish Chef.
There you go. I mumble my words. Yes. All right. Deal with it and stop talking about it, please. Ay. Brian Munich. Yeah, he's a great player. Yeah. I don't even think he's from Germany.
So Gary's some love on his show.
Man, it's going after me on my own show. Do I do that on your show? I never do it on your show.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Any chance you get, sir.
Well, there you got your turn. It's over now.
Brian flying out the trap.
No, but I'm looking forward to that. You know what? Arsenal's got a lot of big games. For me, I've been trying to take this thing one game at a time. Anyways, one game at a time. The next big one is City. We need to win that one, so we should be trying to win every game we got. Do you guys see us lose? I'll start here with Mr. Tom. You see Arsenal losing any games here out? You think we can go at least 10-0 in the league? Besides the other two Champions League games that we have. He's quiet. What's going on?
Who'd you ask?
Tom.
I said Tom, but he stopped. What happened? Did he freeze on us?
Oh Jesus!
Where'd Cal go? It's all black.
Tom, he just froze on us. All right, Spencer.
All right, so it's going to be tough to do. I'm going to say no. Okay. But I don't think you lose any games. I think you drop at least 1 or 2 points somewhere.
I did a prediction for the Armory TV, and I had us drawing 3 games. So, and I had other teams dropping a game, losing a game. So that was the difference. I think all teams will drop at points in about 3 games, but I don't have us losing any. Alonzo, you see us going 10-0 to see out the season in the Premier League?
That would be my best hope, Gary, but we're going to drop points, unfortunately. We all know that team down the street will be up for it. I was talking to my friend who supports Manchester United yesterday, and she was saying how big of a game that could be as well. I'm not going to say we're going to draw those games. I'm just saying it would be tough games to play in. We're going to draw some games. I'm sure of it. Against who, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But there's some teams in there that want revenge. So we got to put it to them.
Yeah. I had us when I did the prediction. I had us drawing to Villa. I think Manchester United in that team. So, because those teams are on the road. So, there you go. I think I had us drawing against City and that team, and I think Villa. So, that's kind of how I had it going. I know it's going to be hard to win at Old Trafford, but I think we have a squad to do that. So, Tony, 10-0?
No, those 4 you mentioned, there's question marks on them. I think we'll probably draw 2 and lose 1 of those out of those 4 games.
Yep. If that holds, like for me, if we stay on points with everyone, I think we're fine, right? Because we went on goal difference. So if we continue what we've been doing in terms of playing those teams lower in the table, Mr. Tom, before you froze on us, I was asking you.
Yeah.
You see us? You see Arsenal going 10-0?
I don't see 10-0, but I don't necessarily see defeats. I mean, just by its very nature, 10-0 is difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
In especially at the Premier League level, it's the kind of thing Manchester City do with Haaland across the winter, or not even Haaland, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'd rather under promise and then be pleasantly surprised rather than say you're going to run the table and then you don't.
My gut feeling is the United game will be the draw. We'll win against City. You want the win against City because that's 3 points versus them, and they're 3 points. I mean, that's a must.
Yep.
You still have Chelsea. You got to play them. We can avenge the women's team for the Southgate issue. Hopefully, sorry. It's gonna be tough, man.
Cool. Well, listen, we're gonna have to get out of here. I'm gonna have everybody say their goodbyes, so we can head out of here. I gotta go. So, what is it, Mr. Tom? You got something to say?
No, Chris.
No, I do have crisps. Although I didn't go to the shop. I didn't have time because of work. But at the same time,
You
as soon as
did
it was
go to
floated-
Ezekiel and ask him about what wonderful crisp he is?
Tony, when my mouth is open, your mouth is shut, sir.
All right. Yeah, let him speak.
Shut, sir. Go on. What's
Go on.
that?
Finish up what you got to say.
Zip it, Tony. Zip it. Anyway, no, I was going to say, out of respect for the 100, yeah, I did dip into my emergency stash.
All right. So let's
I mean, you will be massively disappointed, but
all right. So let's
That's
do this. So we'll be right back with after this little segment, a little video. All right.
it's one of my personal favourites. It's delicious. Prawn cocktail.
Oh,
Jesus.
Walkers.
all right.
What's wrong with that, Gary?
Go on. Let's see.
Sounds disgusting.
Yeah, go on.
It's not. Put it this way: if you get a standard like 4-pack, which will have the flavors cheese and onion, salt and vinegar, ready salted, and prawn cocktail, this or the cheese and onion always goes first.
It's funny that they still refer to him as ready salted.
But we went through this before. I believe it was on episode 58 where they're called ready salted because they're already salted. Because in the olden days, when you would get it, you'd get your little blue packet of salt.
Eat the chips
on yourself.
Why are you talking to him? Why are you letting him run you off? He came in here to chips. No, don't educate him. It's not going to work.
Anyway. Delicious. 10 out of 10.
Very nice.
9.8 out of 10.
Go.
Nothing's perfect.
Hold on. Prawn cocktail is basically shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
So when you just eat shrimp?
Yeah.
Shrimp with cocktail sauce.
We don't call it shrimp.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
All right, Mr. Tom, say bye to the people. Give him some words of advice on your way out.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry. Sorry, it's rather acidic. Anyway. Sorry, one second. I didn't do the thing I usually do. Oh, very prawny. Anyway, I like seeing Alonso and Tony laughing together. Majesty. Anyway, so
I just
thank you,
was I
everyone.
set a timer.
Tony,
on
Tony,
Gary
Tony.
said he had to get out of here.
Tony, zip it. Go on, Tony. Go to say something. Go to say something, Tony.
No.
Zip it.
Say
Zip
bye.
it.
Say bye.
Anyway. So thank you everyone for tolerating me on this endeavour of Gary's, which is a genuine honour that I was asked to be part of this. I mean, let's be fair, it'd be mildly boring if I wasn't. No, wait, what? Anyway, that's too arrogant. I can't do that. But I'm sorry, Gary, that I didn't say it 50 episodes earlier. Anyway, what? No. In all seriousness, genuine honour. Thank you for having me on here. Allow me to be in your rooms, on your devices, on a Monday night. I could be watching Raw, but I'm not going to be watching Raw. I'd rather be talking to you guys anyway. Yeah. So the filibuster, man. Anyway. That being said, thank you to Alonso. Thank you to Spencer. And Tony, although he's an acquired taste, let's be fair. Unlike Prawn Cocktail, which is a 9.8 out of 10. Anyway, and to Gary, our gracious host, one of the greatest men who ever lived.
There you go.
Some say, not me, but some.
Yes.
Someone once told me that Gary's not fit to live with pigs.
Gary said he had to go, Tom.
Yeah, say bye.
No. Gary once told me he's not fit to live with pigs, and I defended him and said that he was. So,
all right.
Anyway,
say
have a good night, everyone. Have a good week.
All right,
Leeds.
Lonzo. Say bye to the people.
Hey, bye, people. Good to be on your show, Gary. Good to see you, Spencer, Tom, and Tony. It's unfortunate we didn't chance to say hello to our favorite 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s pop star, but that's all right. Maybe next time. Just want to say thanks to everyone in the chat box.
Say bye, or else you're gonna get in trouble.
Block them both off,
Thanks
Gary.
God, Tony, come on, man. Thanks to everyone in the chat box for making this happen. Thanks for keeping us up to date on your foolishness and your hilarious jokes. Anyways, come on, Arsenal, beat City, and win the title. Thanks, Gary. Take it easy. See you next time.
Good night, everybody.
I knew it.
Hi, Mr. Hanky.
Spencer, say bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming by tonight. You got what you wanted. You got big games, big matches. If you want to be an elite club, this is the test you have to take. And I'll tell you right now, man, April and May are going to be fun months. So sit back, enjoy the ride, and hopefully we hey, man, you never know. May 30th may roll around. You may have yourself a league title and a Champions League trophy. You just never know, man. So
there you go.
But take care of yourself, everybody.
Thank you, Spencer. Tony?
Gary, can I introduce this funny guy?
Good night, Tony.
His name's Tony.
This is
just finish the
right.
show, Gary.
Bye. Say bye, Tony, so we can get out of here.
Okay, good night, Tony. Come on.
All right. Cool. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Yes, this is our 100th show. Thank you for being here with a lot of you have been with us since the first one and all the way through the 100th. We appreciate that. It's been good hanging out with Tony, Spencer, Lonzo, and last but not least, Mr. Tom. And it's been great having you on. I enjoy these Mondays chatting about football and stuff. So we'll keep doing it again next Monday, and we'll go from there. But thank you, everyone. And I think this is just this is how it looked. This is how it looked on the show last time. This is the first show. This is the first participants in the first show of the trip way back when. So, yeah, as you can see, Tony is still here. He never goes away. So, Yeah.
Can't shake me, Gary.
There you go. But anyways, guys, thank you again. We'll be back next time, and I'll talk to you later. Everybody, and we're out.
Life is a journey. Don't wait your trip. Go otherwise.